Good afternoon. This is Leonard Brannon. I'm the co-founder, CEO, and superintendent of Cityscape Schools. We're very happy to be with you this afternoon. Come into your home or at work or in your car, wherever you might be this afternoon. This is our 2 p.m. Weekly Facebook Live and YouTube Parent Town Hall meeting. And we're glad to be with you this afternoon. We've got a lot of things that we want to talk about with you. We do here in a little bit want to open up the opportunity for you to ask questions or anything you might like to know about what's happening here at either one of our campuses, or as we open up face-to-face instruction next week on Monday. It'll be the first day for face-to-face instruction at both of our campuses. And so I want to go over a few of the things that you'll need to be prepared for and ready for as you come back. One thing I want to remind everyone, the devices that your children have, either a Chromebook or a tablet, whatever they may have, when they come to school every morning, you need to make sure that thing is fully charged and ready to go. Because if they come with half of the battery ran down or it's discharged completely, then they will not be able to do their work and keep up in the classroom that day. So I just want to encourage everyone to make sure that you make sure all the devices are fully charged. And then remember, they will be bringing those devices back home with them in the evening. And please make sure they're charged again for the next day. And so there's a couple things I'd like to go over as a way to give you some information about some things that are going to be a little different. Number one, parents are not going to be able to just come into the classrooms. They're not going to be able to go in and bring their children in. We also are having some different places for students to come than we have in the past. And so it's really important that you go online right now. They'll be giving you a link here in just a little bit. We have two COVID-related manuals that we've created. One is called the Global Learning Community Guide. This Global Learning Community Guide tells you a lot about what you can expect that every day when you bring your child to school, what's going to happen when you come pick up your child, and some of the safety things that we're doing. And also we're going to be talking to you about what face-to-face instruction will be like in this new COVID environment, and even instructions and things about at-home learning. And so it's really important that you download those, read that, be ready if you are coming here on Monday morning to bring your child so that you'll know exactly what to expect. We also have the Reopening School Employee Guide. This is really created for employees, but I wanted you to be able to see it, to see all the things that we're doing across our campuses with our staff, not only to ensure that everything will be in place and safe for your children, but also for our staff. Our safety is our number one concern right now as we begin on Monday opening up, and it's going to be important that everyone follows, whether it's our employees or moms and dads or our students, follow everything that we have in place for COVID. So I don't want to let you know that as you come on Monday morning, things are going to be a little different. Like I say, you will not be able to come into the building. You'll not be able to drop. You can drop your children off, come through the carpool, or walk them up to the outside of the building. But remember, your child has to be wearing a mask when they get out of the car. Their temperatures will be taken before you're allowed to leave, so that in case your child comes with a fever at 104 or above, then we're going to ask you to take that student back home until that fever goes down, and they'll be handing you instructions that tells you exactly what to do and what to expect if that's the case. And so I want to make sure that you realize that as you drop your children off, we'll take their temperatures, they will put their mask on, and then they're going to walk directly into their classroom. Over the last several years, they would first come into the gym and they would wait till teachers arrive, but we're changing it this year, and they're going to be going directly to their classroom. We'll have extra staff out in the parking lot areas, helping to make sure all the students know where to go come Monday morning. And then when school is over, the children, or when your child actually gets into the classroom, they will take their face mask off and they'll put on their face shield. And then they will begin to do instruction. And at the end of the day, they'll take that face shield off, they'll leave it in the school, in the classroom, they'll put their mask back on, and then they will leave and go directly, when you pull up into the parking lot, they will be called out of their classroom and they will go directly to the parking lot where you'll be picking up your children. And so I know that Monday's going to be, we're all excited about all the students coming. I know our teachers are excited about them seeing their students. I know the students are going to be excited to be able to see them. Now, let me talk about a couple other things before I turn this over to Ms. Rojas, our Chief Academic Officer. We are starting today, we're not going to allow any more changes for at-home or for face-to-face instruction. If you've selected face-to-face instruction up until today, then you can come and bring your child Monday morning. If you selected at-home instruction, effective today, you'll no longer be able to change that until 2 weeks before the second 9-week grading period begins. November 9th is when our second 9 weeks grading period begins. 2 weeks before that is October the 26th. And you will be able to, up till October 26th, make a selection for that time frame. If you want to go from, maybe you decide if you're doing face-to-face right now, you may decide for whatever reasons you want to go back to doing it at home, remote instruction, you can do that. Or if you've been doing remote instruction, you can change your mind as long as you let us know. And then I want you to remember, starting from this point on, you have to make a decision that lasts for 9 weeks. Our grading periods are 9 weeks, and you can make that decision, but you have to make a commitment to that 9 weeks that you're going to stay at home or you're going to stay face-to-face. The reason we're asking you to do that, that's very critical and very important, is for that we can be well prepared to make sure we know how many people are going to be here, how many students are going to be here, and we're also trying to make sure that we can maintain as much of the protocols as social distancing, the wearing of masks, washing hands, all that has to be done. And so we want to make sure that we're well prepared for that. I will ask you to please be patient with us as we get started next week. This is all going to be new for your children. It's going to be new for our teachers, and our staff. We're all walking through this for the first time come Monday. But I am grateful to know, and and I think that we have a lot to be thankful for when it comes to the COVID infection rate right now in the city of Dallas. It has continued to go down. It kind of leveled off right now. It's peaked just a little bit, and we're still in the orange range, and the orange range means we still got to be careful. Fortunately, we're no longer in the red zone, but because it's orange, the Dallas County Health Department has allowed us to open up, but they say we have to open up carefully, we have to be cautious, and do it in a very smart way. And so that is why that we've asked you to choose over these last few weeks where you wanted your child, whether it was at home or face-to-face. And so if you have any questions about that, we're going to open it up here in just a little bit to allow you to ask some questions. But before we do that, I want to turn it over to Ms. Rojas right now. We have a very special guest that she's going to be introducing, and hopefully there'll be some things that you'll get to hear and know that you've not heard about in the last few weeks.
Thank you, Mr. Brannon. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes, Cityscape families. It's wonderful to connect with you once again. We're very excited that in just a few days, we're going to have students in our schools once again. And also, I want to remind you that those who have opted for at-home virtual learning will continue to receive instruction on a daily basis with the same level of rigor and covering the same content and curriculum as face-to-face students. And so I just want to assure you families that all of our children matter to us. And for that reason, we have prepared curriculum that's viable and aligned. And when we think of that alignment, we think of pre-K all the way through 8th grade. And so we want to make sure that there's no interruption in learning so all our students can have a successful year. And so today we're very excited to have with us the literacy coordinator, Ms. Camacho, will be sharing with you on some of the work that the teaching and learning team have been working on throughout the summer to prepare for the school year, and then now going forward with these next steps so we can ensure that there's a complete continuity of instruction and that all of our students stay on track. And so, Ms. Camacho, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ms. Rojas. It is so great to be here joining you all and just to be able to talk a little bit about what we do. So my name again is Gabriela Camacho. I like to be called Gabi just because my mom used to call me Gabriela when she was mad. So Gabi Camacho, And I'm under the teaching and learning umbrella, basically with the curriculum and instruction. So this is a little bit of what we do. We have a team of 3 coaches, and we work with your teachers, the teachers of your students. So our job is to come in, work with them on best practices. So what are best practices? We research and study the best ways that students learn, and that's what we do. So we transfer that information to teachers. We conduct professional development sessions. We also evaluate, analyze, and roll out curriculum. We are also in charge of testing as well.
That's right.
So
Yes.
a very important part of the child development. So we want to make sure that during all stages, we're continuously following how are they doing. That it's crucial. As we know, the only way to assist students is through testing. So parents, I know right now we're conducting some tests that are from home. So as much as possible, make sure that your students are in a safe place, a quiet place, where teachers can test them, because it's very important for us to know where they are, so we can get to the level where they are and build them up. Build them up with vocabulary, build them up with fluency. That's our main goal. You will hear from your principals about MAP test. MAP test is coming. What is MAP test? It's the measurement of academic progress. Very, very important. This piece will let you know where your students are and what we can do to ensure that they are successful for the next grade level, and also to ensure that they are being successful during this grade level. You will be invited to come in person. So parents, even if you are remote, please, please, please make sure that you bring your students to school for testing. Again, you will be hearing more from your principals about this. We have ensured the 6 feet apart, everybody wearing masks, safety protocols. Please bring them. It's just gonna be for a couple of hours, and the information that we will get from that test is going to be crucial. Crucial for us to plan, crucial for us to implement, and crucial for your student to grow. I think I have covered basically what we do also with the curriculum. I don't know how familiar you are, but we before Pearson, that's our curriculum that we utilize for reading language arts, math, and social studies, moved into a company called Savas. And that is completely in line for the STAR test. So we are continuously working with teachers, looking at the TEKS. So the TEKS are very important because that's what the state says that every student should master to be successful during the school year and for the next grade levels. So we carefully look at those TEKS, we align them with our curriculum, and that's how we provide all these books that your students have. And for science, we use something called STEM Scopes, which is great because it has videos, it's very hands-on, full of experiments. That's what we want. So we want for your kids to come and experience things that are hands-on, that are gonna grow them, that are gonna be able to become better thinkers, and of course, bilingual, for the cases where we have our one-way and two-way dual language programs. So please, during this time, make sure that your students are still reading. It's very important that they read. They need to read every single day, 30 minutes to 40 minutes, because that makes a huge difference. We want to ensure that they have the fluency to be able to be successful, to be able to go to college. Keep pointing at things at home and just say, oh, this is a new word. Try to build up that vocabulary. The window, the frame, things that are not very usual. So for our students, vocabulary and fluency are crucial. So again, please have them just work on those vocabulary words. If you go to the market with them, just point in things and talk. Develop their oral language and just keep reading. Fluency is key. So it was my pleasure meeting with you. And at this time, Ms. Rojas, I don't know if there are any questions.
Oh, thank you so much, Ms. Camacho. Let's check with Mr. Tecuadal. for questions from parents.
We have some questions. Question number one, what time is drop-off in the morning? Also, if my child is going doing after-school program, will we be able to go inside to pick him up at 4? Drop-off is at 7:30 in both campuses in the morning. And if you're going to participate in Alphabet or after-school program, they usually have a sign and they have a special ring bell where you can notify them that you're here to pick up your child. So the process is gonna be similar. Again, probably what's gonna happen is they're gonna take your kid to you. We're gonna have them in different classrooms this year to ensure social distancing, and Alphabet is also doing everything they can to make sure that they keep your kids safe. But we're asking everybody not to come into the building, so your child will be brought to you. But they always have that special ring bell that you can let them know.
David, are there any questions for the academic team for Gabi?
There's one that says, my daughter is 4th grade. She will continue with virtual learning. Her teacher mentioned Zoom instruction will continue to start at 9 a.m. Will she lose an hour of instruction? I believe face-to-face starts at 8 a.m.
We will revisit those schedules, and we want to ensure that virtual students follow the same schedule as face-to-face. So I will, for sure, check with Ms. Rojas and the team regarding the schedule.
And one thing to keep in mind, parents, whether students are at home or face-to-face, they do have the same schedule. And so, a very good point, Ms. Camacho, about we'll follow up with the campus leaders and get back with you. I will give you some advice in that regard. If there's some questions that come up that are specific to the schedule that the teacher provides, all of the rollouts for learning, your first person to contact would be your child's teacher. Okay, and if you don't understand on the schedule, make sure to follow up with them, and also your campus administrators. Gabi mentioned about the measurement on academic progress exam, the MAP test. Principals, through their teachers, will be notifying you of when each grade level will be tested. And so starting on the week of the 12th, we're going to offer that exam, and 1st grade will come at a certain time, 2nd grade, and so forth, all the way up to 8th grade, so that every child receives a test. It's very important, as you know, parents, that we measure your students, so that way we know where they're at and what they need. And also we know how to best differentiate the instruction to meet the needs of your students. So it's crucial that you partner with us, ensuring that you follow the schedule that's sent to you and when your child's expected to come and take that test. What we try to do is offer the MAP test at the beginning of the school year, and then again at mid-year, and then at the end of the year. So there's 3 measurements. And the MAP test is the exam that is most closely aligned to the STAR, which is the state assessment, right, on academic readiness. And so we want to make sure that your student is ready, not just grade-wise, grade level-wise, but also as we plan forward on how to best meet the needs of your student. So it's very important that you don't allow them to miss school those days. And with that in mind, even with attendance, thank you, because you have been doing a great job in communicating with your schools. Keep that up. The attendance matters. Every day matters because it's cumulative, right? It starts increasing on the level of learning. And so you don't want your child to miss out on any day of instruction. Be sure to communicate with a teacher if there's any conflicts or any concerns that you have. Any other questions, Mr. Tagwen?
Yes, what is the process when a child has a doctor appointment in the morning and will be taken back to school after the appointment? My child will have face-to-face learning. Well, the process is gonna be, you need to notify the school. You can call the office once you're here, and if you come in to pick up your kid, you're gonna have to be tested you're gonna be checked your temperature, and all those procedures will be in place. I will strongly suggest to call the front office and always let them know. I know that in the past you will just show up and bring a note or something like that, but we're going to need for you to let us know in advance every time so we can be prepared, we can have your kid ready, and all of those steps.
And
So
also, I'm sorry, Mr. Tagwen, so they won't fall behind on the work to make sure that your teacher's notified and you know exactly the work that needs to be made up.
Yep. What is the earliest to drop off and the latest we can pick up?
The earliest drop-off, the doors will not open until 7:15 in the morning. And between 7:15 and 7:30 in the morning, if your children come between that time, they will be allowed to come into the gymnasium area, and they'll be social distanced. At 7:30, then they will go to their classrooms. If you come to school and arrive at 7:30 or afterwards, then your child is going to go immediately straight to their classroom. They will not be going to the gym. And as far as picking up students, do either one of y'all know actually what time that is normally?
I believe Alphabet usually stays here till 6:30 p.m., but you will have to pay the weekly fee for your students to stay there until they're 6:30. From school dismissal to 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, you mentioned Alpha Best. I want to encourage all the parents, if you're intending to use the after-school program this year, if you have not yet let us know or let Alpha Best know, it's really critical because we don't have all of our students coming back on Monday. They need a certain number of students to be able to really provide the service. And so we just want to encourage you, if you need the after-school care, please let us know. Call the office this week. They'll put you on the list, and if you need to get information, they can give that to you. Or when you come on Monday, you can please, again, call the office, let them know, because Alpha Best will be here at both campuses, but it's critical that we get use the word critical mass, that we get enough students to make it where Alpha Best can provide the after-school programming for all of our students.
School supplies, is that still the same? Do we take them the first day of school? Pickup locations are same as last year. This is for BP. Last week when we had the principals, they mentioned that yes, you bring the school supplies the first day, and it's the same. The school supply list is published in our website, and we can ask our staff to put a link there to make sure that you know what is that school supply list. And pickup locations for both campuses are being communicated this week. I know that principals were working. If they have not sent it out, we don't have the principals today, but they have been working on this to make sure that everybody knows and understands. That especially at EGP, we have 2 lanes, and Buckner we also have two sections, one for pre-K students, one for the rest of the grades. So all of that information is coming directly from your office. If you have not received that, you can contact them, but check their social media. They have been posting a lot of information, and they've been sending emails as well.
Will that email be coming from school status, or it will be text, or do you know?
Most of, especially when there's instructions like maps and all that, is posted through either social media or Parent Square. And just to remind you, parents, when you're in Parent Square, you select if you want to be notified via email or if you rather to receive a text message. So whatever your choice.
Can you give them a little information about that, especially from some of our new parents, what that is?
Yes. Parent Square is a quick communication channel we have. We have the ability to send a quick text message or an email. And many times the principals send information on there, the district sends information, even teachers can send information through that channel. When you give us your information, when you fill up your application, we usually ask for your phone number, your email address. When you sign into Parent Square, you have the choice to select, I want to be contacted via text message to my phone number, to my cell, or you can be contacted via your email. And even at that point, you have the choice to say, hey, I just want to receive 1 email per day with all of the information pertaining that day, or I want to receive communication immediately. There's also an app that you can download. All of that information is detailed, and I'm going to, again, ask our staff to put a little bit more of those links where you can register to Parent Square and other platforms. Again, follow us on Facebook. We have a Twitter account. check all of our social media feeds because we're posting constantly information there. And of course, our website is probably one of the main points of information you can have. We already answered that. Okay, so what would happen if we later on we change our mind and send our kids to face-to-face learning at school? Do we have that option or not?
Yeah, let me explain that again. At this point, you've already made your selections, and as of today, you're not going to be able to change your selection that you've made. If you've chosen at-home instruction, you must stay at home doing at-home instruction for the rest of this first 9 weeks. At the second 9-week period, you can change your option. You can either move from at-home instruction to face-to-face, or you can actually go from face-to-face back to at-home if there's a reason or a decision you want to make. And the second 9-week period begins November the 9th. And you're going to, starting on October the 26th, you'll be able to give your selection at that time to let us know if you want at-home instruction or if you want face-to-face. If you're going to be changing your decision, if you're already face-to-face, already at home, and you're not going to be changing the decision, we do not need you to contact us or make another selection. You only need to make the selection if you're going to change the location of where your child is going to receive instruction. But between now and the rest of the time, between now and November the 9th, if you've chosen face-to-face, your child will attend face-to-face. If you've chosen remote at-home learning, then that's where your child will be receiving their instruction until November the 9th. And again, on October the 26th, 2 weeks before our new 9-week period begins, you'll be able to change that selection. You can go online, make a selection just like you've already done, but please do not go online and make that selection if you do not intend to change your mind. We only want you to make the selection if you're going to change the location of your child's instruction.
Is it possible for the Zoom lessons to be recorded so that when there's a technical issue, students can go back and watch what was missed? I believe
Yes,
we're recording.
that's what we are recommending that teachers do, that they provide lessons that are pre-recorded so that students can review those later. And so that request, feel free to reach out directly to your student's teacher and request for that. Also, if they need further support during the hours of 2 and 4, teachers have office hours / enrichment, and also that includes tutoring. If your child is struggling in one of the subject areas, they can receive additional supports. And so part of the plan that we have worked out, whether they're through at-home learning or face-to-face, is for students to be able to have some time that's guided with the teacher and then independent practice. So they'll be working on their work independently. And then during office hours, through small guided groups for math and for literacy development and so forth.
We have several about procedures for pickup and how to know where to go. The schools are going to provide that detailed information, obviously before Monday this week. Please be checking the social media of both places, and we're also going to post that information in the website. We'll make sure that we have that available so you can get that access. Again, check your email. A lot of information from the schools are getting that way. Check your your spam folder. Sometimes, since we are sending that information to so many parents, email servers may detect that or think that that's a spam message. Check your spam and trash folders and make sure that our information is not going there. What are the last days to decide to take classes online or school? That day has passed.
Yes.
And today was. We're not making any more changes. Again, what the superintendent has shared is for the following 9 weeks that start on November 9th, you will have the option to make your mind up to October 26th, which is a Monday, 2 weeks before the second 9 weeks start. What is the percentage of students going face-to-face for Buckner Preparatory? Do you have the latest numbers? Because we were at 50.
I do, well, you know what, we can pose those later. I don't have them right off. I do, the last count from last or a few days ago, like Monday, it was 52% face-to-face and 48% through at-home and virtual instruction. But we can update those numbers.
And EGP, we're basically just about, it's the same, about a 50-50 split for EGP right now.
EGP, actually, the exact number so far is 49% are coming to the school and 51% staying home for EGP.
I do want to give an announcement that I've been informed by the East Grand Preparatory principal. Teachers will be reaching out to parents for a Zoom meeting for those of you who will be sending your children to school on Monday for face-to-face instruction. So they will be going over procedures with you all, and make sure to stay tuned. And very important, we have said, parents, that you staying informed is important, communicating with us any concerns or questions, and also collaborating and following guidelines. So I urge you to attend the Zoom meetings you're invited to this week, so you can get the latest information and know the expectations, the procedures to follow that your principals are setting up for you. They want to make sure that it's a smooth transition, and also to reassure you also that when you drop off your child, they'll be ready to go. You won't, as Mr. Tagwen shared earlier, at this time, because we're looking out for the safety of your child and well-being, we're asking that you don't come in with them, so you will not be entering school with them on the 5th. And principals are planning from the moment you drop them off all the way through the day that they're with us on procedures. And so you will be receiving an invite for this Thursday, and be sure to attend that Zoom meeting, please.
We have another question. I had issues with a new store location for the uniforms. I think it's more expensive. He had to buy the shirt. Expensive? Do you have to buy the shirt separately and the logo separately? We're going to ask you to leave us your information through a private message. We're going to make sure, Mr. Brannon had shared before, we changed our provider for uniforms while we were listening to some of your concerns before. There was not enough stock. They didn't have things ready for us. So we are very interested in make sure that you have good customer support from the vendor. Also, just to remind you, you are not required until the second semester to have the uniform. So if for some reason you cannot buy the shirt, or there's something that you still cannot buy because you found it expensive, or you're trying to make sure you have everything ready, your student can come to school on next Monday without the uniform. There's some caveats there, and I know on the meeting tomorrow, the principals have a list of what is acceptable. We have talked about before shirts, that you're going to bring a shirt that has some kind of violent a message or things like that. Same with the mask, if you decide to have a personalized mask, but don't feel forced to go find the uniform. I don't know if you want to expand on.
Yeah,
uniforms.
let me expand a little bit on that. The reason we are holding back on our normal dress code and uniform code, which we've always used, is because we know this has been a difficult time for a lot of our families. Some of you may have been out of work. Maybe someone in your family's been out of work. You've been challenged financially, and so we just wanted to take that into consideration and let you know that we didn't want you to have to go and do the extra expense for whether you're a new student that's coming, your child's new to the school, or maybe your child's grown a couple of inches since last year, and it's time to maybe upgrade or change the size of uniforms that they wear. And so we're giving you this pause between now and the end of this first semester to allow you to not have to do that. If you do have uniforms and you want your children to come in uniforms and they're prepared to do that, please do that. We want them to come in their uniforms, but it's not required until the second semester. Also, for those of you that have already purchased uniforms from our older vendor, our last vendor, you can still continue to use those between now and whenever your child outgrows those. And then you can go to the new vendor and pick up the new set of clothes, or if your child's grown or whatever the reasons may be.
Will staff guide our kids to their class the first day, since me, the teacher, was via Zoom? This is for Buckner. Again, Buckner will have also notifications out to you. But yes, if you remember last year, and if you're new to Buckner, they usually have signs indicating grade levels, and we will have our staff and teachers and everybody out there the first day for sure, guiding everybody to make sure that everybody gets to the right classroom. We have another question. Are they doing lunch at school, face-to-face, in cafeteria or classrooms? Also, are they having recess? Yes, we will be providing lunch and breakfast for everybody. We've mentioned that before. It's for this year, both campuses are eligible to have breakfast and lunch completely free of charge. So you don't have to worry about paying for breakfast or lunch. Kids are going to be eating in their classrooms, both for breakfast and lunch. They will receive the meals there, and they will eat in their classrooms. We will not be using the cafeterias because we're trying to make sure that every cohort, every group of kids stay within that group, and they're not mixing with all the other kids. We're trying to make sure that we can separate students that way. As for...
Yeah, let me just add a couple things to that, Mr. Quaddle. One of the things that's important is that there is a free and reduced form that you need to fill out, a free and reduced lunch or breakfast form that does need to still be filled out, but by every one of you. Even though we are now school-wide where we provide free breakfast and lunch to all of our students, it is still critical for us to get that information, and you can get that either from the office or from the registrar at East Grand or the registrar clerk at Buckner Prep, and you'll be able to get the necessary forms and get those filled out. If they've been asking you for those things, you're going to need it. Also, I just want to let you know, as far as shot records, some people, though, you may be thinking, well, my child's learning remotely. I don't intend for my child to come back to face-to-face instruction all year, which you can. If you choose to do remote instruction, you can do that for the rest of the school year. But you still have to have your shot records up to date. Sure, please make sure your children's shot records are up to date by going whether you go to your doctor, health department, Dallas County Health Department, or wherever you get those shots, so that they will be able to get the records, and we can be able to let those at the state and also the county level know that our children have all the necessary immunizations and everything that they need.
Recess, do you want to talk about recess for students?
And so with recess, that, we know it's so important for students to have a break and to be able to stretch, to go out and get some fresh air. And guidelines have indicated that they could be outside. And with distancing, but they can be outside to relax a little bit. And so that's going to depend on your campus. You'll get instructions from your teachers as to if recess will be held and when outside, or they're going to have a different type of break inside. And so we know, even for the students who are at home in virtual learning, that breaks are huge. The idea of students to go out and get some fresh air and relax, listen to music, have a mental break, it's crucial. We have spoken to you before about Zoom fatigue, and it's real. And so we don't just want students in front of a screen, we also want them to be able to walk around, to stretch, to go and run a little bit, or do some type of physical activity to get them moving. And that also helps them when they to focus as they're learning. And so thank you for that question. And you will be receiving more detailed information from each of your campuses when you have those Zoom meetings coming up. And also, as we prepare for October 5th, teachers will be reaching out to you just to go over the schedule, make sure you understand procedures, etc.
We have another question about notifications for Buckner. This is their first year. Again, all those meetings and all the information is going directly from the schools. If you have not received anything via text or via email, please reach out to the office of Buckner. I know for a fact they've been there the last couple of days, and our administrators are there talking to parents till very late in the day, and they can help you with that. Sometimes, and that happens often, sadly, a number is wrong, a digit is wrong in your phone number, and we're trying to reach the wrong person. Whenever you call, you can check for your information, make sure that we have the most updated phone number or email address, because that's going to be super critical. It's always critical, but this year will be even more so. So please reach out to your school. The last question we have is, where do we get the form for lunch? you can reach out to the school office. This is for EGP, but EGP and Buckner is the same. Call the front desk, and they will be able to give you that information. Those are all the questions.
Okay. Well, great. I think that's going to be it for today. I do want to remind you of a couple of things as we start next Monday face-to-face. Please go online, draw down our Global Learning Community Guide or the Employee Guide, because it has a lot of the answers to a lot of the questions. We also have online an FAQ just for parents. You can go online right now and you can get, I imagine at this point there's 70 or 80 questions that we have been putting on there that you can get an updated answer for. And then also if you need more help or something that you're confused about or something that you don't know exactly what to do or how to do it, you can still always call both of our campus offices and their staff there. It's a busy time right now. We're really excited about our kids coming. I mean, it's kind of some mixed emotions. I mean, as we all start out, we've been doing remote, you've been doing remote, but now we've been working really hard to be ready for you. We've been literally spending hundreds of hours investing our time. The organization literally spent really several hundreds of thousands of dollars making sure that your child will be safe this year, that each of your children will have a device so that they can learn either on a Chromebook or a tablet. I know our pre-K3 students right now, we're still waiting for those tablets to come in. We're also waiting for some new hotspots to come in case you have internet problem or internet connection issues. Please let the office know that so you'll get on the list as soon as those hotspots come in. We'll make sure you get them. So we want to thank you for letting us come into your home again this afternoon. And we'll be coming back to you next Wednesday at the same time at 2 o'clock for our English version of our Facebook Live and our YouTube parent town hall meeting. And so we look forward till then, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.